Hey AJ.
What up, Brian?
Dude, did you know it's 2011 all over again?
So that means
Ni no Kuni, I think, maybe. No.
I mean, it kind of is. We've also got in more than one ways. We've got what's that shooting game that's coming out? The remake of the PS3 game.
What?
The one with the whip. I always know the name. Bulletstorm. Yeah. No, it really is.
Okay.
It really is 2011 all over again. Does this mean we get free games? That's all I care about.
Maybe.
Which free games did you choose?
I don't know, man. Like, I didn't care much. It's like, I think I had whatever the free games were, but it was really great because they were first party Sony things, weren't they? Weren't they big games?
It was like Wipeout, Infamous, and maybe something else.
Maybe something else. Yeah. The only thing I remember about 2011 was that we were all like, how do you pronounce the year? Because a lot of people are still saying 2010, 2009, right? And so 2011 this is the first time we get to say, or 2010, 2011. This is the first time we get to say 20 blank, 20 something. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't say 2009, 2008, but 2010, 2011. That was the first time we were like, oh, 2011. That's a way cooler thing to say than 2011.
I don't think I had that conversation with my friends.
We didn't have a lot going on. All right, man, let's get this show started.
Let's go.
This is PSVR GameScast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure. If you don't like to watch with your eyes, I get it. You can watch with your ears over on podcast services of your choice. Thanks for our good friend Rypop who uploads this. You got it. The podcast services of your choice. If watching it live is just too much work, we get it. You get shit to do. I don't. This is what I'm doing. This is what AJ's doing. But if you got shit to do, then Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry will put timestamps into this thing after the fact. So don't you worry your pretty little head. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here. PSVR without from the gentleman over here to my left. Your right is AJ from the underground. PSVR in the ground.
What up, Brian?
I don't know.
What is up, Gamecats? Happy Monday. And I know that Mondays usually suck. It's true. But we are here, Brian, to ensure their Monday sucks. Because you chose the breaking of the breakingest news. Actually, I don't even think it's the most breaking news. I don't even think it's the most important news today. Okay, the good news here, Brian.
Listen, you just sit down, young man.
Hold on. Let me finish what I was saying. Don't cut me off. That's rude.
Hey, listen, I can do whatever I want. I can make me full screen. I can turn off your microphone. See, they can't hear a word you're saying right now. No, it's as if you're not even here right now, AJ.
He has the power, and he's going to abuse it.
Yeah, no one, please, for the love of God, don't ever put me in charge of anything, because this is how it'll end up. Just a little bit less. You never finished your statement. If you guys don't know, AJ does this to me every single Monday. He's at work all day, right? And then he comes home and he's like, "Hey, honey," and I'm like, "Hey, I got the GamesCast all set up," and he's like, "I don't like anything you chose. What a stupid thumbnail. This is just." And he complains. No. He complains right up until we hit go.
And Brian's like, "I cook, I clean. Actually, I don't do any of those things.
I don't even clean the litter box, AJ.
You just sit there and look pretty. That's all you do, man. It's not fair. It's not fair.
I forgot to turn your volume back up. No one's been hearing you this entire time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
I'm just kidding.
Well,
but that would have been fucking funny. Michael Grant in the chat with the $2 tip says, "That's the Monday energy we need, Ryan." Yeah, well, hopefully it's all for the best. I try to use my energy for good, not evil. the tip that came in though before the show even started. Where did my run a show go? There it is. Super Speed Scooter Shop with the insane $50 tip. We thank you very much for your generosity. Says, follow up about my return. If you guys weren't paying attention, Super Speed Scooter Shop has been having quite the debacle with his PSVR2 replacement / repair. He's been waiting almost as long as I had. He says, follow up about my return. They set up return with a replacement for dead pixels and bad controllers. Now they denied return over 30 days, but didn't send it back or tell me. Now they say they're going to send it back, but then I have to set up repair. And from what I'm understanding here, he basically sent it in because Sony sends you a box. You call them, you tell them your problem, they send you a box. You don't say, hey, I want this repaired or I want this replaced. You just send it to them and they do what needs to be done to fix the problem. And so what happened to Super Speed Scooter Shop is that he did the thing. He called Sony, told them the problem. They sent the box. He sent it in. Sony said nothing, like forever, because they take 3 months to do this shit. And then they finally said, hey, we're just going to send you yours back. And then you have to send it back to us. What a joke, man. What a joke. And if my repair or my replacement hadn't gone so poorly, then I would think this was pretty sus. But this falls right in line with what happened to me. I was just lucky that, I got the right guy on the phone on my 4th phone call. And he was like, oh yeah, we're going to check into this. I would just call again, dude. Really. I would just call again and be like, this is unacceptable.
Just speak to somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to talk to a manager. That always seems to work. Don't do it because you sound like an asshole, but it works when you need to. Yeah. What's going on, AJ? What have I missed out on? I feel like I haven't talked to you since last Monday.
Was there even a show last Monday, or has it been?
I don't know.
I don't think we did a show last Monday. I don't know. I don't remember. Everything's been great, man. I don't even think I've talked about like Hellsweeper and stuff because I refuse to. Hellsweeper has become the latest game that I refuse to play. At launch, there's definitely a bit of a problem here with some of these launches and stuff. And so to me, luckily, I'm still playing No Man's Sky. I've got that. That's amazing. And this is the benefit of having a AAA game or at least a huge third-party game or whatever in VR that you can spend hundreds of hours in. Is that like when everything else is going bad, it's like, well, I've got this. I can just keep playing this. And so life is good over here, despite having a couple brand new games in my library that I refuse to touch. But yeah, man, it's almost spooky season, though. Things are about to get really crazy.
Yeah, dude, I don't think I could be any more excited for spooky season. I mean, it's kind of insane. Like, not just the scary games, but we're just getting tons and tons of other games packed into that. We just got the announcement last week that Ghost Signal Solaris game or whatever it's called, Ghost Signal is coming to PSVR 2 in the first week of October. What else?
Oh, that's what we talked about. Yeah, we did, because we talked about that last week, I think.
Oh yeah, I think that was the thumbnail. Probably not very exciting for you.
Actually, I ended up being really excited about it by the end of it because we kind of learned more about it, that it's like an action roguelike kind of game. And I'm definitely more interested in it now for sure.
Yeah. So is that Tennis Encore, Vertigo 2. So, I mean, even if you're not into the spooky games, next month is going to rock. It's going to be some really good stuff. And I am excited.
Yeah. Hopefully a little something for everybody.
Hopefully. There's one more.
We have to acknowledge that there are some people that don't like scary games, Brian. I know it's tough, but we can do this, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there. We just don't really care that much about them. Like, get your shit together. What are you doing with your life? It's crazy.
Oh.
Living Legend in the chat with the Canadian $10 tip says, "Happy Monday, nerds." What a fall season of gaming. AC6. It's not Assassin's Creed 6. Is it Assassin's Creed 6? I don't know. Lies of P, Sonic Superstars, Lords of the Fallen, Spidey 2, Ghost Runner 2, Flashback 2 for all those retro fans. I'm curious about Flashback 2. I like Flashback. And a load of promising PSVR 2 games.
Living now Legend. We're talking.
Yeah.
I didn't care about any of that until you said PSVR 2 games.
But it is good though. I mean, like I think most people out in the world when they have PSVR 2, I think most PSVR 2 owners, I should say that, they have PSVR 2 and it just kind of sits next to their TV and occasionally they pick it up and they play a VR game, and they also play a lot of flat screen games. That's not really me, although I did play the crap out of Vampire Survivors last night. It's, yeah.
What a terrible name.
Yeah. Yeah. Also a terrible trailer, terrible graphics. It's terrible from the top down, except that it's addictive as fuck. It's a $5 game and it is really fun. It came out last year, but I just picked it up for, I finally used my Steam Deck for the first time in, Jesus, I don't even know how long, 8 months or something. How long's the Steam Deck been out? Because I used it for the first month for Days Gone, and then I hadn't really used it again after that. Vampire Survivor's great. Anyway, not really the point. Not really the point. AJ, what the hell were we talking about today? Oh, you know what, dude? We got a bunch of shit to talk about, but I want to start the show by saying something about Broken Edge, because my review came out last week. I gave it like a 4.5. I said it was really rough. I didn't like the single player campaign. I'm not a fan of the graphics or the art style. There's a lot that I don't like about this game. And then I started getting comments on the review after a few days. And they were all saying exactly the same thing. And they were coming in at exactly the same time, which meant that somebody had posted the review somewhere. And then everybody said, go get them. Like, and they just came out in droves and they were like, right. And I was like, oh man, you guys are so obvious. Where is this posted? And so I found the Broken Edge Discord. And I found my review posted in their general chat, and everybody piling on, being like, "Oh, this guy fucking sucks." Blah blah blah. Whatever. PSVR2. He said PSVR2 was going to save. He doesn't even like Quest. Blah. He doesn't like. He must not like multiplayer games, right? When somebody doesn't agree with your opinion, you obviously have to blame them somehow. But there were a few people in there who were like super genuine and super understanding. So I stopped in and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I actually got more information about the game, and that the core game is all about ranked matches with real people. And that's where the real game is played. The single player stuff is more like practice. The tutorial stuff is obviously practice. And I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, I'm like, I'll give it another chance because obviously there's a lot of love for this game out there. And they were right. I can't believe I'm saying this, but like I went in, I was like, I'm going to do some ranked matches. I didn't even really feel like it. And it's really fun to play against other people.
You know, it's funny, Brian, you made one mistake before making this review. You know what you forgot to do, Brian?
What?
You forgot to come talk to me about it. Actually, when you were telling me your impressions of Broken Edge, I was like, I don't know if I had some things to tell you, and it sucks that I have to, like, you know, we're just now having this conversation because usually we're behind the scenes playing everything and talking about everything, and you know, but yeah, I actually, you know, I actually kind of disagreed with the review a little bit too. Not necessarily some of the things. I just, you know, for me, the one thing that I feel like the game got right, was that like the gameplay, like the sword fighting mechanic, the sword fighting gameplay mechanic or whatever, I actually thought was really good. And I thought that was the main thing that they needed to get right. I actually really enjoyed that part of it. The problem for me is still though that like, yeah, I don't play online games really. I like to play single player stuff. And I was actually kind of enjoying the tutorial stuff, the training, the playing against the bots or whatever. But yeah, I actually thought I think the sword fighting mechanic in the game is actually really clever and really cool. But yeah, it's, you know, it's still an itty bitty little like game, which is fine. But yeah, I wasn't like hardcore against, you know, your opinion on that, but I was like, that seems a little harsh. Like, I think it's a little bit lower than I would have rated it, but also like, you know, it's yeah, I don't know. Trebuchet has really not got to like you at this point.
Oh yeah, I'm sure at this point. I never reviewed Prison Boss, although I did like Prison Boss. Wins and Leaves I thought was not all that fun. And that was the longest 8 hours of my life. And then this came out. Broken Edges. Yeah, I mean, I don't see. The thing is I don't disagree with any of my original review at all. I think my original review was spot on for the parts that I talked about. And it's not until you get into the ranked modes where it does actually start feeling like sword fighting. It actually starts feeling difficult, and you're not playing against these characters with motion capped moves like that with non-existent AI. You're playing against real people, and the skill-based matchmaking is fantastic. There's always people playing online, and so you get in, and it's just like, so they put you into a training mode where you can practice awakening your sword. They give you all these meters and everything, and so you can really practice that. But this is specific. Like this is completely different from the dojo where they have the circle. This is while you're waiting for your next match, and so they really give you this chance to like perfect your awakening skill. But they don't give you that chance because this is what you're supposed to be doing while you're waiting for your next match. And the next match comes like that. They're like, "Oh, we found somebody. Let's play." And I'm like, "Well, all right, damn." And so you do best 3 out of 5, and then they kick you out. You don't play with the same person again. You just go back into the queue, and then like 2 seconds later, you're playing against somebody else. And so you're never bored. Like when I was playing with Wes, I was like, "Oh, you want to do it again?" He's like, "I guess." "You want to do it again?" It's like, "Yeah, all right." And so you're just playing against the same person. This way, you're like constantly meeting. It's like chat roulette, except with sword fighting. So I've gone back and I've changed my opinion on the online part of this game. I don't think anybody playing it for single player should even look twice. But if you are playing it to play online, I actually really do think that Broken Edge, that there is something special here, which I sort of saw at first and just like it's just not enough. And now I sort of understand. It's priced appropriately to jump in and, you know, play here and there. Some of these cats in their Discord have like hundreds of hours in it. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know about that for me, but it's basically exactly what I thought it was. Was like I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun for a little bit, but then like I'm done with it. Like you know, I might play it a little bit more, but it's just, you know, I don't have like tons of interest. Again, the big thing I think I can say about it is I think they got the sword fighting like mechanics right. I think the concept of trying to chop down each other's sword or whatever. I think it's a cool little gameplay mechanic. But dude, what were you gonna say?
Always happy to admit when I've overlooked something or when I'm wrong. Like, you know, I've said it 1,000 times. My opinion's no more valid than anybody else's out there. If you come to me and you're respectful and you say, "Hey, I think there's something you missed here," like, then I'll listen to you. You know, if you threaten to dox me, as like one of the kids was doing over there, I was like, it almost made me say, you know what, I'm not interested in returning to the game that you love because you're not doing this in the proper way. But that wouldn't have been fair to Trebuchet. I want to be fair to the developer and say, hey, listen, you know, I was wrong. And so you should expect an updated review for Broken Edge, I believe, later tonight.
Oh, wow. You got an updated review on it.
I don't do it too often, but when I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, good on you, man. Nobody cares.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. You're about to get doxxed, my friend.
Anyways, you know what did come out that was actually really cool, though, that I really, really am enjoying so far?
What?
Dude, the Crisis Brigade 2.
Yeah.
I've been playing that quite a bit. And wow, like that is a nice enhanced update. It was cool to get the PSVR2 version for free after they got that fixed. I haven't like looked into whether or not the save transfers over, but I just said screw it, I'll just start again. But I've been having a lot of fun between No Man's Sky. I've been playing Redacted, and I've also been playing Crisis Brigade 2, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It looks really cool, and it's really silky smooth. It's got a bunch of new content with it now, like all those updates that everybody missed because they weren't playing a PSVR anymore. Or now it's like they've kind of like refined it into like the full game now, and there's a lot of content in there, and it's pretty cool, man. And yeah, I've been playing that and been really enjoying that as a quick jump in, jump out. And now the landscape has changed. I mean, we went from like having like no shooters to like an abundance of shooters now. And you know, when Crossfire Sierra Squad came out, it was like this is the arcade shooter for all of us. Well, then, you know, now they updated it like day 1 patch, day 2 patch, or whatever, where you can play in the realism mode. So that's no longer to me like the arcade shooter. Now Crisis Brigade is like the arcade shooter, and Crossfire is something else. Alvo came out, it's like Call of Duty. It's crazy, man. Everything got flipped around really quick.
So you're on the opposite side of things. You're like, they marketed this as an arcade shooter, and then they let me turn off the arcade stuff. False advertising.
I'm going to be complaining about that now. I'm going to be like, yeah, they told me it was an arcade shooter. Now it's realistic. What is this shit?
I love it. Dude, we got a couple tips in the chat here, and it's starting with Time to Play VR with the 2 quid says, Hellsweeper is amazing. Buy it now. Love you all. Who paid you to say that? It's time to play.
Banned.
Hey, no, it's an amazing game. It's just, yeah, like I say don't reward the developers or publishers, especially the publishers. When it comes to this kind of stuff, let's not pre-order anymore. Let's not trust anybody, and let's wait for the games to come out and see if they're any good, because we got to stop rewarding bad behavior. And it's obvious we got screwed, despite the fact that we got a fully playable, great game. The graphics are fucking last gen.
Yeah, I jumped in for about 3 minutes and I was like, fuck this, I'm waiting. Like, you know, I can't do that. This was one of my most anticipated games. The problem with this, Brian, is that now, like, you know, I'm looking forward to a lot of games, but I'm not excited for like games on day 1 anymore. And that's a really bad problem to have if you're Sony, and if you're, you know, you want your audience to be excited. You want everybody to be anticipating upcoming releases. I'm kind of like numb at this point after Hellsweeper, because that was honestly one of my most anticipated games. I mean, it's like something I've been waiting for years. And so now, like, yeah, like I'm looking forward to whatever turns out being good. But Hellsweeper was the final blow to like kill like any excitement I have about almost anything. Of course, there's like Resident Evil 4, which I know is going to be great. But yeah, like now I'm afraid to get excited about like anything, and that's about the worst, that's about the worst thing you could have if you're Sony right now.
Yeah.
Besides a major hack.
Right. I know that games like Madison and excuse me, Phasmo, and I mean all these games that are coming out next month, we're super excited for. Yeah, there's this tarnish that these upcoming releases didn't have before. That makes us wary. That makes us not excited. That makes us, dude. You know, as we said, like if we're not going to know until we start these games up and see the very first logo of the developers and know if it's clear or not. It's just really sad, because I want to be excited for Madison. I want to be excited for Happy Funland or whatever games are coming out next month. And it's just not exciting right now, because I'm a little nervous, like everybody else should be, that maybe all of these are not up to speed.
Yeah, and I think this is a problem we're going to have at least for the foreseeing future. Like, you know, next 6 months, next 12 months, who knows? Somewhere between there, it's probably going to be something until it's a little bit more normalized. And again, it's several different things. You guys, I think, pointed this out before. It's not like, you know, it's a lot of factors playing into it. Some of it's this post-COVID stuff that we're starting to finally see the effects of. Some of it's just like the new hardware, the dev kits coming out, you know, not having tons of time. having deadlines to meet. It's a lot of unfortunate circumstances, and here's the good news. Here's the silver lining of hope here, is that like I do think these games are going to be awesome at some point, are going to be amazing to play, but at launch is the question here, and for me that's the thing. It's not that I'm not excited about any of these games. It's like I'm not excited about any of these games at launch.
For sure,
because I don't know whether or not I should be, and I know that if they launch in a disastrous state, that most of them are going to eventually recover and become something amazing. But
right.
Something as simple as foveated rendering and eye tracking to enhance the graphical performance with No Man's Sky is literally proven to be a huge game changer.
Yeah.
And that's the way I want to experience these games for the very first time. So yeah, I jumped into Hellsweeper for 4 minutes, if even, and I was like, nope, like fuck this, like I don't want to do this right now. I've got other good games to play, and I'm going to do that instead.
Did you see RKX's clarification about Journey to Foundation? Because that was a game that during their AMA they said didn't have dynamic foveated rendering, and so there was a little discussion on Twitter about it, and RKX jumped in and said, yeah, it has foveated rendering, but not eye tracking. It's like, so you have to look straight ahead all the time with your eyes and then have to turn your head. This is Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation VR 1, PS4, all over again. Right. And that's a terrible idea.
I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if it's like foveated rendering where it's like, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the whole lens. You know what I mean? Like maybe just the edges of the lenses could look bad or something, or it could be, wherever you're, it's like you said, it's like Resident Evil. It's like Dreams was, there's games that have done this in the past and it wasn't so bad. I mean, what I do know is that game is one that they've been demoing to people. Like I think they even were demoing PSVR2 versions of it. So when there's stuff like that going on, when they're letting people play this on PSVR2 hardware out in public, like showcasing it, like I'm not as worried or concerned about those as some of these games that just like stealth release or release with like no impressions, no review keys. If you look at we asked this question last week. We were like, should we be worried about Hellsweeper? And I guess we got our answer, right?
Yeah,
like
we did.
I don't want to use that as a thing, but I do think we should, like you said, use it for good. Use our position for good here, and say that look, you look at the games we didn't receive review keys for, Switchback, Green Hell VR, Firewall 0 Hour, and Hellsweeper. What do these all have in common? So while I don't want to use that, I will not use that as like leverage against like developers or anything. I would never do that. That being said, we need to read the signs on the wall and read the writing on the wall, I should say. And, we could use this to our advantage to kind of maybe just approach certain games with caution a little bit more.
Approach all games with caution from now on. We've been burned. We shall not be burned again. Living Legend with the Canadian $2 tip says, happy fall. The best season of all. I can 100% agree. Love the colder weather that we're getting already. It's amazing up here. It's amazing. It's like 50s and 60s maximum. Killartist 1, the Dreamweaver Gamecat with the $5 tip says, this show is definitely the highlight of a pretty crappy Monday. Breakdowns at work in my dog of 15 years. Oh my God, I didn't read this ahead of time. My dog of 15 years passed away. Thanks for being awesome. Damn, Killartist, man. So sorry for your loss. That's never would have understood before Tornado, but now I get it. Everybody give Killartist a hug in the chat. I'm definitely going to need it today.
Sending hugs, Kill.
Emily Baxter, hashtag the Cartoony Witch Game Kit with the $2 tip says, just in case you forgot, cartoony games suck. But they're more likely to be sharp.
Always there to remind.
Broken Edge wasn't. Super cool video, bro, with the $5 tip says, finally beat Resident Evil 8. Love the factory, and the last act was so badass. Any campaign shooters out or upcoming you recommend? Hope RE4 has Mercenaries MP.
I don't think Mercenaries is going to be part of RE4, but yeah. What do you say? Is there any other
campaign
shooter campaigns? Vertigo 2, we're keeping an eye on that. Resident Evil 4 this winter. And we'll have to keep an eye on Bulletstorm and there should be plenty. I don't unlike the first gen of PSVR, like I don't think we're going to have a shortage of shooters here.
I'm going to go to bat for Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. I really enjoyed that. I love the shooting in that. I think it's some of the best haptics you'll experience on your PSVR2 Sense controllers, at least for launch titles. It's I had a lot of fun with it.
I would highly recommend Hubris or Synapse over Star Wars.
Maybe, yeah. I was going to make sure I don't miss anything else here. Yeah, going back to the Resident Evil 4 stuff, though, the deal seems to be Sony is paying Capcom to bring the campaign, just like they did with Village, into VR, free VR patch. So I wouldn't expect anything more than that. And also, AJ, I don't know if you saw this. Some people get to go hands-on at the Capcom booth, TGS, and some of the responses they got back were from people saying, "Oh, it's really good. It looks great. Can't wait to play it." That kind of stuff, all the good stuff, and but also that like some of the cutscenes are still flat. And I'm wondering if where we're at right now, September 25th, when this game is scheduled to come out for another 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, like 5 to 6 months. Do you think things like that will change? Do you think any of the complaints people have had, like this, you would think the entire port process for PSVR2, the game's already done. So most of the time spent porting it to PSVR2 would be the creating the VRAF mechanics. And so anything that wasn't shown in this trailer, do you think we have any luck of getting?
Yeah, man, you got to remember when they do these demos, they have like strict guidelines that they do this to reduce motion sickness and things like that. I do recall some people saying that there was, I don't know if it was click turning or some setting that was in place. If you remember, Village has an option to toggle between the 3D cutscenes and then just a flat screen cutscene. If I had to, I imagine that most likely there will be an option to have it just like Resident Evil Village for the cutscenes, but they might have just had this turned off for showcasing it at a public event like this.
It's totally possible. And some cats were keen to point out that you walk up to a door and hit X to open it, and it didn't even trigger a cutscene after. So I think these are the things that are getting worked on now. There's a reason that the game's not out right now, and that's because I think these things need to still be implemented. So I would say don't lose hope, but also don't pre-order. We'll let you know.
Resident Evil, dude, I don't care. Resident Evil can have whatever flaws it wants. It gets a free pass. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's probably true. Brian's psycho ex-boyfriend with the 45 Donkey Kong countries says, "I can't believe you broke up with me after 89 days. You're probably not even a real pilot either. Somebody's been watching too much 90 Day Fiance, and that person is me." So I totally understood all the references in this. Don't get your hopes up. 89 days is about the limit for my relationships. Social Destruct with the $5 tip says, "First impressions are everything. If a bad launch happens, it sets a tone. I'm excited for upcoming releases, but there is a quality control issue."
Yeah, I do think this is not a healthy and safe way, sustainable way moving forward to release games like shit, and then just expect that it's going to totally turn your game around. Like, I think No Man's Sky is the only game that can really get away with this. But I don't think if I was developers or publishers, like I would absolutely just delay it. This is probably why we see Wanderer taking the release date of next year, wisely choosing to do opt into next year instead, so that they can, have plenty of time to get everything done and make it as polished as possible. Again, I would not count on, especially as an indie developer or whatever, I would not count on this strategy working for everybody. Hellsweeper could have completely screwed itself. I mean, it'll gain some people, some players back, whatever, maybe do a little bit well. But it also probably could have cost itself a lot of players and stuff by releasing in this state and then trying to fix it later.
Yeah, I mean, this is just bad news. I can't imagine that pre-orders alone are worth the bad press for the studio or the publisher. For any of these games that we're talking about. So
all that goodwill, man, and you squandered it, and it's unfortunate. And I saw that they gave some explanation and whatever, but still, it
doesn't change anything.
It's not good for them.
If the real transparent response wouldn't have been from Mixed Realms, I think the real transparent response would have been from Vertigo, who said, hey, we made them fucking publish this across all platforms simultaneously. That's on us because we're the publisher and we just want our fucking money.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't. No, exactly. They can't say that. Right? And we'll probably never see Mixed Realms published by Vertigo Games again, because that relationship is, I can't imagine, going great. But who the fuck knows? 2 more tips, then we got to start the show, AJ.
Yeah. We haven't even done GameCat name changes yet.
3 dealer, that's what I'm talking about. 3 dealer with the $5 tip says, could Journey to Foundation developer mean that they do not have eye tracking gameplay elements, but do use it for foveated rendering? Here's hoping. Sorry to smash all of your hope, 3 dealer. But they specifically said, we don't use eye tracking for foveated rendering. We do use it, however, in some conversations you have with other characters. So there's eye tracking in the game, just not dynamic foveated rendering. So
yeah, which is what it really needs at the end of the day. But I'm not, again, they've let this game be showcased on PSVR2 hardware on a show floor. And so, yeah, I don't know. This is one of the titles that Sony was also showing on the big stage, like during State of Plays and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, to me, that kind of is just one of the little signs here and there that, like, I'm not expecting a game with horrible graphics here.
Frederick Morin with the Canadian 279 says, any news on Golf Plus or Black Hole Pool? Dude, Black Hole Pool is just going to drop any day now. Like, they've been saying it's done, it's ready to go.
Black Hole Pool, won't you come? Sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead, you can keep singing. I'm going to hang out with Tornado.
No, I'm good.
I'll even put you full screen.
Black Hole Pool, won't you come?
So sorry.
Yep.
What are you doing? Black Hole Pool is probably just going to drop any day now. I can't imagine they're going to announce a release date. I feel like they're just going to show up on the store one day. Because I feel like it's been done, or they've been saying it's practically done for a while now. So we'll see about that. But Golf Plus, the studio came out and said, we never announced it for PSVR2. And I was like, okay, well, we'll see about that. And so I guess we'll see about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Last I heard, I haven't been following that one closely, but last I heard, the Golf Plus guy was like talking shit about PSVR2 or something. So
yeah, there's better golf games.
Just rumors.
I'd rather
take it with a grain of salt. Yep. Take it with a grain of salt.
The answer is no. We don't have any updates, so we apologize. AJ,
Brian,
we always like to thank a lot of people here, channel, but every Monday we like to thank a whole different group of people, don't we?
That's right, Brian. We would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing the name to something Gamecat, something Gamecat related, or something Gamecat adjacent, as you and something Gamecat adjacent like to say. And as we usually do in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the show, this time 40 minutes into the show, this week we have 3 new Gamecats. Welcome to the Gamecat Dojo. Starting with Still Quill, the Gamecat.
Wow, that's huge. How did you get so big, Still Quill? We've sized that down a little bit.
Dude,
Still Quill.
Moss is so good, man.
What's so good? What's so good?
Moss.
Oh,
Moss is so good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really good on PSVR2 as well. I know they recharged everybody for it, but
so it's finally good on PSVR2. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's finally good on PSVR2. We've also got Love Quill, Serial, the game.
Bing.
You get this reference, Brian?
It's No Man's Sky.
Oh my God.
Dude,
I have played 5 minutes.
I put hundreds of hours into No Man's Sky. I know what it's like when you learn languages.
Nothing.
Hundreds of hours learning languages in No Man's Sky.
I love it. Shout out No Man's Sky. Shout out Serial Killer.
Don't you be throwing shade on this channel. You know that No Man's Sky is my top 5 favorite.
All you do is mine and shoot lasers at rocks.
You know I have control of your volume, right?
You know what I sound like right there? All you do is shoot rocks in No Man's Sky. Anyways.
Gamertag? Is that not? That's a good British impression, right? That's not right.
Oh, man. Finally, it's Shade Throne. Shade Throne.
What? You're the one throwing shade here. Last
but certainly not least. Mm-hmm. And wow. Oh, wow. Speaking of Shade Throne.
Yeah, I need to start clearing the screen for this one. I need to make this big.
I take this personal, Brian.
Perfect.
This is a personal attack on me. We finally got AJing the fuck out of the Gamecat.
Bing. Oh, wait. That's totally not the one. Wait, where? Dude, it's so good too. That's not it. Nope, that's not it. That's Zippy's. Who's this? Nope, that's not sure. Brando. Who's this? Bro, it's so good too. Oh, you've got to be kidding me with this right now. AJ, tell a story.
Oh,
Jesus. This is going to go well.
There was once this guy that had a pocket knife, a Swiss Army knife, and he was telling me how important it is to have a Swiss Army knife. Do you have a Swiss Army knife, Brian?
I have a knife that it's like I have more of a pocket knife, but no, not a Swiss Army knife.
Okay. Well, it's got to be the Swiss kind because I hear they're better.
Okay.
That's my story.
And what happened to said person with Swiss Army knife? This is you are the worst,
dude. Everyone's calling you out. By the way, they're saying you're AJing the fuck out of this.
I am. Now. I'm totally AJing. Dude, at least I admit it when I AJ the fuck out of things. You don't even age.
Literally 3 comments. Stingray, wait, what? And Hasib Mirza said, AJing the fuck out of it, Brian.
Nice. Hey, listen.
The AJ, Ace Phil says, the AJer has become the AJE.
Nice.
That's right.
Oh,
I am totally a victim here.
That's so good. That's so good. But I hopefully this was worth it. Look, this was worth it. It's AJ. He even put him as his profile picture. Is AJing the fuck out of this, the Gamecat. So, sorry that took so long. I definitely AJ'd the fuck out of that. However, it was worth the wait because this is one of the best Gamecat name changes ever.
I disagree. I take offense. No, it's really good.
It's really good.
Who was that before? I will find you.
I don't even want to know.
And I will hug you.
I don't even want to know because it's just so awesome. So let's not ruin the facade. Like, I don't want to know who Brian's ex-boyfriend is. Guys, if you have no idea what the hell we just did, we give a shout out to everybody who changed their name to something the Gamecat or something Gamecat related. Because the Gamecats are the loyal following of PSVR without Parole. So if you'd like to show us that you love us almost as much as we love you, then change your name on Google, YouTube, whatever it makes to show up different on the screen here. And put hashtag Gamecat in the comments below any of my videos so we can give you a shout out in next week's show. I used to say any of our videos, but then people would literally leave hashtag Gamecat on your videos, AJ. And I was like, I don't know what to do now. Yeah.
It's like, how did you miss this? Yep. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. We've gotten the show started. Things are good. How excited are you about demos, AJ? Are you excited about demos?
Yeah, I like demos.
Yeah. You excited that there's a Hubris demo coming?
Oh, is there now?
I don't know. You're the one who told me. You're like, we need to talk about this on the show. And I was like, I don't think anybody cares. Do they care?
No, I think this is actually really good. First of all, yes, I think we need as many demos as possible. I think many people have said that, like even if you don't end up buying it, I think it's cool to at least be able to check it out and see if it's for you or not. I think just that opportunity alone is pretty cool. But yeah, somebody posted in the Discord that Hubris, 9 out of 10 from Brian, 8.7 out of 10 from PSVR Underground. Hubris, no slouch of a game, and I think it's a good one to let you demo. Get to do that first little lake area part, most likely. Get to swim around a little bit. Yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah, I guess so. This is the problem with games. I never know if these are the things that are going to sell people. I actually think maybe like a later non-swimming section could be even better to demo the game. Swimming's fine. It's good. But I don't think that's going to sell people on it. Maybe it will. Who knows? It's good. It's a good game.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if it sells people on it or not.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was that news story. Moving right along to the next news story. And that, of course, is that today, Vertical Robot, one of the highest praised developers in the VR space, if not the highest praised.
Should be.
Yeah. They're bringing Red Matter 1 to PSVR 2.
Woo! So if you listen to us and when we said, just hold off, we know you just played Red Matter 2 and you're on this amazing sci-fi high and you want more, just hold off. Well, now it has been announced that it is coming October 5th with a remastered version of Red Matter, dude. And I got to be honest with you, man. I might like Red Matter 1 more than 2.
Oh, you don't have to be honest about that. I think I like Red Matter 1 more than Red Matter 2 as well.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. You don't have to be honest about it. We can lie and both say it. No, I think the puzzle solving, for the most part, was a little bit better in the first one, and I sort of just enjoyed the story arc better. The second one was good, and I love that they mixed up the gameplay with some shooting, and obviously the platforming with the jetpack stuff. And so, from a gameplay perspective, I think the second game is better, but from a story and puzzle perspective, I think the first is better. So I think they complement each other pretty well. People say, oh, should I get 1 or 2 or which one? Get them both. Get them both. Yeah. They do connect, and the more you know about the one, the more you'll enjoy 2.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to see how people react that, played the second one first and then go play the first one, see if they like it more, see if they like it less, because that has an effect on things. So, but yeah, man, this game is definitely more straightforward puzzle solving. There's no combat. There's not really like any platforming. I think Red Matter 2 is obviously being a newer game, a sequel. It's more of perhaps more of a technical marvel. So I'm interested to see how much has been revamped. I mean, they've given us a couple details here, right? Like there's this is what Vertical Robot has said. The game, they said Red Matter is leveling up for PSVR 2 coming October 5th. Not a new title, but a free enhancement of the beloved 2018 Red Matter Classic. Free enhancement. It's so free upgrade.
I feel like the wording here is imperative. The free update of a 2018 classic. I think they said this very clearly to make a point, because it's a 5-year-old game and things have changed in the last 5 years in the VR space. They're saying it's 4K. They're saying they use foveated rendering. And then they say it's 90 FPS.
Yeah, and revamped controls. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's not. This is definitely like a PSVR enhanced PSVR 1 game. By the way, arguably the best looking PSVR 1 game, by the way. So it's not like this was a crappy looking game and then is getting enhanced. No, this was already a very impressive looking game. But yeah, 4K textures, revamped controls, foveated rendering, smooth 90 frames per second with no reprojection.
And on that note, Living Legend writes in the comment section, hold up, 90 frames per second, no reprojection, Red Matter 2. Sorry, Living Legend. I'm using you as a jumping off point. No disrespect. Red Matter 2 was 4K, 120 FPS, no reprojection. Doesn't make any sense to downgrade to 90 FPS for the predecessor when visually Red Matter 2 is doing a lot more.
Really? So, we're going to complain about this?
No, and trust me, Living Legend totally understands. He's very happy that we're getting this, but is calling out, I think, a question that is on everybody's mind. Well, Red Matter 2, the supposedly superior sequel, is running at 120 FPS and was flawless. It was visually stunning on PSVR2. Why is the original going 90 FPS? I'm not complaining either, AJ, but I am curious. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts on this.
Well, 90 native is 10 times better than 60 reprojected. So it's going to look really, really nice. It's going to look really smooth and clear, really sharp. These devs are pretty open. Yep. You can just straight up probably ask them and they will tell you. But yeah, man, it's like you said, it's a game from 2018. It's a remastered version of that. And with remasters comes some limitations for a bevy of different reasons. And of course, if they could make it 120 frames per second, I think it would have been.
Well, their direct answer on Twitter will not surprise you. Red Matter 2 is native 120 FPS. Yes. Red Matter 1 is an older game, and we did a much better job with the sequel at engineering the core architecture of the game, its streaming, and the logic. To get to 120 FPS native for Red Matter 1, we would have required a big overhaul, which would have certainly included bugs. We opted for 90 FPS instead. However, the foveation and internal resolution remained the same as in Red Matter 2. It's going to be beautiful. This is going to be a good game. It would
take a lot more time and money is the reason. And yes, they probably could get it too. Like they said,
definitely could.
They could, but you want to wait another 6 months for that and wait another year for that? I don't think that's in the best interest of their studio, or I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah. I think the big answer here is that a lot of people who own PSVR2 already own PSVR1. And I think they're going to make about half the money maximum on this game as they did on Red Matter, bringing Red Matter 2 to PSVR2. So I think they made the smart move. I think it's going to be amazing. And I am so curious to see what this game looks like. Because like you said, it looked beautiful on PSVR1. There was in the
one of the best, arguably the best game. It's not just it looked good or it looked beautiful, Brian. It's literally, when people ask me what is the best looking PSVR 1 game,
Resident Evil 7.
I'd say Red Matter.
Hitman 1, 2, 3.
Red Matter.
Squadrons.
Red Matter. Oh, Hitman did come out kind of late and looked stunning, but
and these guys, seriously, Vertical Robots, they are technical wizards, because I feel like we complained about Red Matter 1 when it came to PSVR 1, whether it was right before launch or right at launch, and said, listen guys, the anti-aliasing on this is kind of killing it. And they were like, oh, okay. And so they put an option right in the main menu that said turn anti-aliasing off. I'm like, that was fast. And then it looked even better, right? Everything looked really clear, a little shimmer. And to be able to just kind of have it all is going to be amazing. I can't wait to go back into that world. It was good. Much more horror adjacent than Red Matter 2 even thought of becoming.
Yeah. Don't want to spoil anything, but definitely love the sci-fi. I think even though Red Matter 1 is more of a pure puzzler, I think it was better. It was more fleshed out puzzles that felt more like you were just doing stuff on an adventure than it was a puzzle game. The cinematic feel of it was really, really cool. It had great cinematography and certain events that kicked in that, I think Red Matter 2 opted for more of a let's throw in a little bit more variety. Let's add a little bit of combat. Let's add a little bit of platforming and less puzzles. And I actually like the first game more because of just how more it was. Maybe, it doesn't have the variety, but it's just, I think, better executed, more fleshed out.
Yeah.
In terms of just like the game structure, the game design.
Well, everybody was asking for it, and we're finally getting it. Also, good to know that it's free. It's a free upgrade. Obviously, you have to buy it if you haven't bought it already, but it's a free upgrade if you own it on PSVR 1. And even more importantly, for all you physical collectors out there, if you bought the limited run games version of it, Vertical Robot said that'll have a free upgrade as well. I'm guessing out of the box too, instead of waiting the better part of a year for Saints and Sinners to let you do it.
Yeah, these guys definitely are up there are in the argument for developer of the year for sure. They're one of them.
Do you think we'll get a bundle, like a Red Matter 1 and 2 bundle, or maybe like a physical bundle with both games in it? Maybe a discount, buy both at the same time, $40 for both.
It'd be nice. If I was Perp Games, I'd be all over it.
Is Perp Games to publish a physical, you mean? Gotcha.
Yeah.
I hope we get a digital bundle for all the people who were patiently waiting for Red Matter 1. It might not happen at launch, but I do feel like it'll happen at some point down the road. These games are what, 30 each? So
I mean, look, this is the reality, Brian, is that this is coming out way sooner than I anticipated. And so I think we're going to have to, maybe some of the bells and whistles, maybe a physical version, maybe a bundle. All this stuff is not necessarily the goal here. Maybe it was just to get it to us as soon as possible. And so, yeah, I'm not expecting like all this stuff to be there, but just an enhanced version of the game. And I think that's all we need. And that's really the best decision on their part.
Steve IRE in the chat says, is this the trailer from the enhanced version? If there is a trailer for the enhanced version, I haven't seen it yet. This is just the old PlayStation VR 1 trailer. Living Legend with the Canadian $5 tip says, I can see the challenges with 120 FPS for Red Matter 1. It will mess with the game logic, among other things. Yeah, it seems like it just wasn't a road that was worth going down. But I have complete faith. I think it's going to look great.
Yeah, it's going to look awesome. Saints and Sinners, I think, is 90 native, right?
Yeah. At least Saints and Sinners Chapter 2.
Yeah.
What's the first one running at? Because it looked good. I don't remember seeing reprojection.
I don't know. If only one of the devs was in the chat listening to the conversation instead of talking about how they don't know how Patreon works.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Don't ask Tiff questions. She has no idea what's going on. She doesn't even know what day today is. All right, man, let's get to the story of the day. Today we got...
that wasn't the story of the day. That was the story of the day for me.
We can call it quits now.
Good shit, man. Hype rating, hype scale, Brian. Hype out of 10.
Red Matter?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it would be a 10 if I hadn't already played it 4 times.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to play through it again. I think I've got to give it an 8 just because I'm excited to play through it again.
Cool. Yeah, I'm with you there. 8. I'm excited. My 9 out of 10 comes from the excitement I have for everybody getting to play it for the first time on PSVR 2.
Same. And if October is a total bust and all the great horror games we're expecting turn out to be terrible and blurry, well then change that rating to a 10 retroactively because we know Red Matter will at least be good. Don't pre-order, just in case. We trust them, but we do not trust them implicitly. The big story of today is that a ransomware group claims to have breached all of Sony's systems. What the fuck is happening, AJ? Have you been following this story? Do you know what's going on here?
No.
Okay. You obviously, I don't think you care either.
Well, I don't think it's. I don't know. We'll get into that.
All right. This article comes to us from VGCnews.com. The ransomware group claims to have breached all Sony systems. The group behind the alleged attack says it plans to sell the stolen data. Ransomware group ransomed.vc claims to have successfully breached Sony Group and is threatening to sell a cache of data stolen from the Japanese company. Let me make this bigger so I can read it. While its claims remain unverified, Cybersecurity Connect reports that the relative ransomware newcomer has racked up an impressive amount of victims since bursting onto the scene last month. We've successfully compromised all of Sony's systems, the group claimed, on both the clear and dark nets. We won't ransom them. We will sell the data due to Sony not wanting to pay. Data is for sale. Although according to Cybersecurity Connect, the group has posted some proof of hack data, although it says it's not particularly compelling information on the face of things. It includes what appears to be a screenshot of an internal login page, an internal PowerPoint presentation, several Java files, and a file tree of the leak, which seemingly includes fewer than 6,000 files. The group listed a post date of September 28th, after which, if nobody purchases the data, it is presumably when Ransom VC will publish the data wholesale. Ransom VC is said to be both a ransomware operator and a ransomware as a service organization. It claims to be a secure solution for addressing data security vulnerabilities within companies, and is also to be operating, quote, in strict compliance with GDPR and data privacy laws. Listen, you work at lots of big companies and stuff, AJ.
Yeah, this stuff happens all the time.
6,000 files doesn't seem like a lot to me. Does that seem like a weird number to you?
Yeah, that's definitely not a large scale thing. Doesn't seem like it. I mean, what they're claiming is that it is, but what they're showing is something a little bit different. But yeah, like you said, what I do know is that this stuff does happen a lot, and it can happen to big companies. And typically, though, when it's held, this is a little bit different. This is more saying that they have information. They don't seem like they have control of the data centers or anything, because it seems like PlayStation Network is still operational. So I don't know if I don't think they have the full control that they're claiming. But it wouldn't surprise me if they have kind of like penetrated some of the security. But after the whole thing around 2011, though, I do know that Sony had a major overhaul with their security and their infrastructure, and it might not be as bad. But if it is true, then, and if it is as big of a thing as they're claiming, then I would expect a statement from Sony at some point to kind of talk about it and recommend what they would do. Like, should you be changing your password? Should you not be changing your password? Should you be removing your credit card information? Blah, blah, blah. Is that stuff already compromised? Are they, and they apologize, I would expect a statement from them if this is true at some point.
Sony was notoriously bad for how they handled the 2011 breach. They were silent for weeks at a time. That thing went on for, a month? 29 days, something like that? Like, the PlayStation Network was literally down for 29 days, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was
down, though.
Yeah, right. And Sony was silent for a good majority of that and never told us, like, what was compromised and what we should be doing. Like, they were really bad about communication. And here we are, all these years later, 12 years later, and Sony's even worse at communicating with their subscribers, with their users. And I'm actually really wondering if we'll hear anything from them at all.
Again, I think if there is some kind of thing, I mean, but this is the thing, man. This was just announced as of today, and you have to. It takes time to investigate what has happened. What if there, what is true, what is not true. They have to do some research and investigate. And obviously, this is a criminal offense, so law enforcement would be contacted, get involved. There is a process for dealing with these, and I do think, having dealt with this in 2011 or dealt with a data breach or something compromised in 2011, I do think they probably learned some things, unless they just, got rid of that guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't feel like we should wait for Sony to tell us to do something. If you have a Sony account, it's probably time to change your password.
Yeah. That would be my first instinct. I'm probably going to do that. Probably going to change my password. Unfortunately, there is hackers are getting, as technology evolves, hackers evolve too, and they get
Right.
they get worse and worse. They get and yeah, I mean, they can even make stuff where it's like it forces you to change your password, and then they capture that password that you change it to. So I'm hesitant to say anything, again, and maybe that's what Sony is doing right now too. Maybe that's why they are as well, because you don't know. Sometimes I am pretty experienced with cybersecurity and stuff. I have a long history with it, but it's sometimes that is the phishing scam, is to create a sense of urgency, to make you react real quickly and do something, and then that actually is the trap that they set. So you cannot be instantly reactionary like this. What I did notice though is that, like, the network and everything, from what I can understand, is still operational right now. So typically in ransomware attacks, the network goes down or is shut down to prevent any further compromises. So I don't know.
It's a weird world we live in, AJ.
Yeah.
Not particularly thrilled about this information, about this announcement, because this is all you have to do to get people concerned is just announce that shit's gone down. And here we are. We've only got a few days really before, according to them, we'll find out if it's true. So
yeah. I'm honestly not even, like I told you before, I'm not even thrilled about really giving it any more attention too. But hey, what am I going to do?
Well, with any luck, it'll shut down everything, and we'll get a bunch of free games out of this.
Zasek has a good point here. They are talking about, they're saying all Sony systems. This isn't talking about PlayStation directly as well, which is why another reason I was like, I don't know. I don't know how much this even affects us, because we don't know what part of, they say all Sony systems, but again, that's what, if I was a hacker in their situation, I would say that too, and just see if, if they call a bluff or not. It definitely seems like something could have been compromised. It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know. The fact that PlayStation Network's still operational, that we haven't heard a statement from PlayStation specifically talking about, change your password, stuff like this. I don't know.
Well, yeah, the only thing I'm really concerned about, like, I don't, who cares? Like, my address and shit gets out, whatever. I don't give a fuck, I don't really care about a lot of my personal information. What I'm mostly concerned about is my credit card. Because obviously, and even that, it's like, it's most credit cards offer quite an easy way to report fraud and get your money back, and you're not liable for these things. So I'm not too concerned about much of this. I'm a very, very open person. I'm easy to find. So it's not like this is going to like expose where I live. I practically put my address, at the beginning of every GAMESCAST. So
yeah, it's, I'm not super concerned. It is a very serious situation, obviously, but
right.
I'm not honestly like super duper concerned about it. But luckily there's several levels of authentication and verification. Hopefully you have 2-factor authentication enabled. I know it's annoying to get that text message and have to do that every single time you sign in or something, but that's what things like this are in place for, is when it comes to cybersecurity and stuff, redundancy is definitely a good thing.
Dude, who hates 2FA? Sometimes it's the only text message I get all day.
I have 2FA, so if somebody texts me,
I don't feel lonely. Finally,
I have 2FA to feel alive.
Yeah. So that was a fun clickbait title, wasn't it?
Yeah, man, you sure got everybody.
Yeah. It's 2011 all over again, AJ. Everything's shutting down. The hackers have all of our information. Oh, no.
No,
Oh,
I would
no.
wait to see if there's an official statement from Sony or from, I mean, it's Sony. It's not just PlayStation Studios. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, you know what I think it's time for? To bring the fun level back up, AJ.
20 questions.
Time for a little 20 questions. Everybody out there, you're going to have to help AJ because we go for the deep cuts these days on Mondays. So do your thing. Help AJ. Give him good answers. Ask good questions. He's only got 6 minutes and 20 yes or no questions to figure out what PlayStation VR 1 or PlayStation VR 2 game I'm thinking of. Are you ready, AJ?
No.
Okay, you let me know. Like Tuesday. I'm ready now.
All right, man. Let's do this.
On your mark. Get Des. Go.
Is it a cartoony game?
Yeah.
Sorry, Emily. And thank you, Emily. Brady says, is there math? I'm not asking that question.
Dude, I almost did it. I really almost did it. Not even kidding.
Oh, that's funny. Is this game on PSVR 2?
No.
Dang it. PSVR 1 only. Can you fly? Says Mark Smith.
No.
No fly. No fly zone. Roy Schwartz, what up, dude? Says, do you have hands?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. I'm not going to count that. I'm just fairly certain.
Fairly certain you have hands.
Yeah.
So it uses the Move controllers?
Yes.
Let's see here. Deep cut. Did it come out within the first 2 years of PSVR lifespan?
No, that's 5.
God damn it. Did it come out within the last 2 years, Brian?
The last 2 years. Yes.
From now. Okay. That might help a little bit. So it came out within the last 2 years. Did it? That's literally everything, Scott. That will not help us.
Well, it does eliminate a lot of things.
How many questions am I at? 6?
Yeah, you've only got 6.
Okay, we can burn a couple.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick one of those, Scott. Does it have robots in it? You see, it's not so easy, is it, Brian?
Every so often, I AJ the fuck out of this. I'm going to say yes, I believe so. That's 7.
Robots, nice. Okay, so it's only on PSVR 1. It's kind of cartoony. You might have hands. It uses moves. It came out within the last 2 years, and it's kind of got robots.
I take it back. It does have robots.
It does have robots.
It absolutely has robots.
Does it have multiplayer?
Yeah, it does.
It has multiplayer. Interesting.
What kind?
But what kind?
Oh no, sorry, the Gamemaster pulling all these strings, AJ.
Zenith is also on PSVR 2, so it can't be that. Yep. So it's got robots.
Ooh, Pretzel Ride. Good one time to play.
It's like I just saw that. I'm like, what is this? Not helping. Let's see here. It's got multiplayer. Is it a shooter? Says Rody.
In a sense.
You are AJing the fuck out of this. Let's see here. It's only on PS4 2. It's got multiplayer. It's got robots in it. Uses moves. It's kind of cartoony. Is it a good game?
Yes, that's 10.
It's It's a good game. Is it? Has this developer made other PSVR games?
Yes.
Is this First Contact Entertainment?
No.
Made by First Contact Entertainment.
By
No.
the way,
I like where you're going there, Stevie Dan.
Remember, shooter means a lot of things. We've specified. It can mean anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Means a lot of things.
Yeah, shooting can mean anything. Let's see here. Uses see. Would Brian do this again? He did this before. Is it a social multiplayer game?
Define social.
Okay, hold on. Is there he better not do Puzzle Bobble. I swear to God. I'll fucking kill him.
Also a shooter.
Came out within the last 2 years, guys. Multiplayer, moves, controllers. Does it have any Western themes in it?
No. I mean,
no, not really. Bullet Roulette then. Definitely has some Western themes. Does it use the aim controller?
No.
Are you in a vehicle?
Nope. That's 15.
Isn't every multiplayer game social? Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, sort of. I think there's PvP, there's co-op, and then there's more like social based, like Bullet Roulette.
10 seconds,
yeah,
AJ.
10 seconds. Oh my God, cats!
I'll give you 20 extra seconds because I AJ the fuck
this
out of
game? It. Did this game take? Did this game take way too long to come out on PSVR?
I think so.
I like where Hooked Worm goes there. Is this game, Brian, swinging? Does it have swinging in it?
Yes.
Is this game Windlands 2?
2? Is this game Windlands 2? Yes, it is. This is from SciTech Games, released November 26th, 2021. Windlands 2.
Excellent job, Hooked Worm. Excellent freaking job.
I'd forgotten what the enemies were in this game. Literally had to look it up.
Yeah, there's definitely big giant ass robots in this.
Yeah, I had to turn the trailer on.
Robots galore.
And it's just like, it's all robots. And I was like, what is wrong with me? It's all robots. Yep. Yeah.
I feel like I would have liked this game more if I didn't have to like plow through it in one 5-hour session.
Like for review?
Yeah, for review.
Oh,
like
right.
I didn't get to, that's the only regret I have is like I didn't get to enjoy this game really. Because I just I did. I enjoyed playing with you, MRI, and was it Guy Son? Fist bump to you. I had a lot of fun playing with you guys, but it was definitely it was like a grind to get through it. It's a pretty big game, and 5 hours.
We didn't have a lot of lead time on this one. I think we got the keys, and we had to have. I think I had to have the review done the next day or something. I had a lot of fun with this. I think this is something I really want to see on PSVR 2 with better controls and higher res graphics, maybe better lighting. I think this is really fun. You said, is it out on PSVR 2? And the answer is no, obviously, but it has been announced, right, by John Hibbins himself that it's coming, and yet we've heard nothing for quite a while now. We've also heard nothing about the original Windlands. Probably have something to do with how this sells.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this game, like I said, but to really get me excited about it, it would have to be like a complete overhauled version of it because I've already beaten it.
You've already beaten Red Matter?
Yeah.
This would be, I think this would be fun to go through again in co-op, as you said, taking your time. I don't think this game is good for 6 hours at a time because I think all of us were like, oh my God, we just want it to be over at a certain point. But yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's really decent. Fun. Yeah. All right, man. It is time to get the show on the road, ship this thing, get it out of here, and then return to sender. My name's Brian Paul. What the fuck am I doing, AJ? Why am I telling people my name? I'm trying to close the show down, and I forgot how to do this.
That chloroform's kicking in. I saw you sipping on it.
It's right here.
This is why he never remembers a show. Mm-hmm. Never remembers a Gamescast. Right there.
That's right. Can't knock me out. But there's no brain cells.
Straight up swigs chloroform.
No brain cells left.
By the end of it, he's like, "My name's Brian Paul."
Brian Paul. You should get to college. Oh man! All right, let's get out of here. Thanks AJ for hanging out. Thanks everybody who supports the channel. Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry who puts timestamps into this. Rypop who uploads this to podcast services of your choice. Hey, all the podcast listeners, leave a good review or something. It's amazing how many of you there are. So what's up? Shout out to the podcast listeners. Also shout out to everyone who supports the channel financially over here by being a member and over on patreon.com/withoutparolegames. We appreciate you oh so very much. Also, everybody who tips during the chat, we really, really appreciate it. Everyone who hangs out, helps with 20 questions, shoots the shit, keeps us entertained while we try to keep you entertained. And everybody who sits back and watches the show and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there. And we love you just as much. It's Monday, AJ. May I?
Cue the motherfucking cat, Brian, because I want to say see you guys on West Day so you can hear how much he doesn't like mining rocks in No Man's Sky. Oh, I love you, Wes. Don't ever forget that. Secrets of. Thank you so much, man. GC13. Don't worry about the Patreon. Let it go. It's fine. I don't care about $1. Steve IRE. Danishing Act says, ooh, that's right. Shots fired. Fargo Soft. Gabriel 004, the license to be out. Gamecat. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Emily Baxter, hashtag the cartoony witch game kitten, says cue to hackers. Chrome Colossus says Paper Beasts. Happy to revisit that. Yeah, I'll be really interested to see if, they tried to give away Paper Beast and nobody still played it. So let's see if they can give it away again, remastered, and see if anybody
full
plays
locomotion, baby.
It might be, right?
No,
or
it does.
Is it confirmed?
Confirmed.
Yes.
Yep.
Confirmed. That actually is pretty nice. Definitely. Nice. I might play it just for that. Sci-Fi Gamecat Henry, what is up, dude? Rody the Gamecat in the house tonight. I really like the picture. Did you see Rody's picture of his cat attacking his TV while he's playing PSVR2?
I did see
What
that.
a great picture.
Yeah.
Brandon VR. Marho says, no thoughts on Ghostbusters VR? I think we talked about it before recently.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We do this show 3 days a week,
Yeah.
which means we definitely talked about that on, was it Friday, I think?
Show us you don't watch all the Gamecast without telling us you didn't watch all the Gamescast, or however they do that stupid meme. Et.2k9.now says WL2 needs to add the glider as DLC. Oh, Windlands 2 needs to add the glider as DLC. I don't know what glider that is, but Brax, bro, good to see you, my friend. Scott Jessica PSVR Gamecat for life. What is up, dude? Good to see you, my friend, as well. Mark Smith. Both my boys are enjoying pushing the heart button and mashing the other emotes as well.
Nice.
Is that
emote away?
Highlight notes. What is up, dude? Good to see you. Nihilist Ryan, baby. My metal feline friend. Listen to some more Principium Est 7 and the Unborn album. Really good stuff. And Liberate equals Terminate. Metal. Dan Moore. Awesome Tatum in the house tonight. Killartist, the Dream Weaver, Gamecat, J-Mind, Sanador the Game Tiger, cannot forget you. Silver Nexus, what is up, yo?
Meow.
All of yous, you have a wonderful night. And we'll see you.
AJ, don't you want to know what was happening on this day in Gamescast history 2 years ago?
Sure. Oh yeah, I saw that. I like that little segment. What was happening?
Here we go. Let's check it out. On September 25th, 2021, we talked about, we had nothing to talk about. Camouflage is
Nothing
hiring. Camouflage is hiring, AJ. Also, how much longer can PSVR1 survive? The answer was it was already dead and no one had buried it. Oh, dude,
great.
Camouflage is hiring. How much non-existent news must there have been for us to put that as the headline? Holy crap, dude. So if anybody hasn't gone back or anybody wasn't with us near the last 2 years of the PSVR 1 days, man, we scraped and struggled to come up with GamesCasts, and they were always fun. They were always fun somehow. That's the great part about this, is even when we had no news, we always had fun shows.
I mean, today we had news and we totally just threw it out the window. Like, this was like the first time we had news in like, I feel like 6 months, and we totally just tossed it out the window. Just talked about whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. That's the beauty of this. Is the wrong old screen too. What the hell date is it? 9/25? I have no idea what date it is. That's the beauty of doing this, man, is that where the fuck
we get to uncover all your deepest, darkest secrets.
Dude, fun part of this is we get to talk about whatever we want to now. There's so much news that we can talk about whatever we want to, which is really nice. And that's what Without Parole's all about. Sometimes we're going to review things. Sometimes we're not going to review things. Sometimes we're going to play games. Sometimes we're not going to play games. But it's always going to be fun. So thank you for hanging out.
I don't know. I just watched the chat the entire time.
I know. It's obvious because you're not listening to me. That's the
where
one
the
thing.
Real fun is.
That's the one thing I've taken away from the show.
Braxbro says with dash in the thumbnail. Oh.
Yeah, it was mentioned before the show in the chat, but we didn't want to start the show this way. But definitely, the passing of Dave Station is happening like now. I don't know what the official date they've called, his passing, but it was 1 year ago today, this week. So we'll never forget you, Dave.
Never. Wear your pin today, and always thinking about you, brother, and know you're still looking down on us. Love you, dude.
He always kind of looked down on us, didn't he?
He always did.
Yeah, nothing's changed, DJ.
Nothing's changed.
Much love to